What a cool story I have for you today. A collector who invented a product related to sports cards, got a patent, and then licensed the product to BCW Supplies, one of the biggest manufacturers of sports card supplies out there. Now he's working for BCW and living the dream. Ready for this episode? Let's go. Hello, and here we go. Welcome to another episode of The Geoff Wilson Show, and my guest today is very special to me. I'm bringing on Tim Mcenery, who is the founder of Slabstrong. You guys may have seen him on our channels before because I invested in Slabstrong. I invested in his product in the early days. Slabstrong is a protective bumper sleeve. It goes around your slabs to both add some color as well as protect them if you were to drop them on the ground. It's a cool product, a product that I've believed in. And it's a product that has had an amazing evolution because not too long ago, Tim and I licensed Slabstrong to BCW Supplies, exclusively licensed it to them. So they have now become the exclusive manufacturer and distributor of Slabstrong. It was a great deal for us. It's a great deal for the future of Tim. There's a lot of different cool elements at play here, and I think it's a great story to share with you and to share with the sports card hobby because Tim has gone from an inventor of a product to somebody who has now built an entire career around it. Lots to take home here, so let's have a nice conversation today with Tim. Hey, Tim, I'm excited to be here with you in your hometown now of Nashville.
Yep. I am now. I transferred myself down here to Nashville. It's been great. I've been here since March. Absolutely loving it, coming from New England. Yeah, I've had a great time. It's getting a little bit colder here now, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Little different vibe, but I see you brought your big hat with you. Your big hat is now a BCW hat.
Right.
It used to be a Slabstrong hat, and of course we're going to talk a lot today about how you licensed your Slabstrong product to BCW and what that was like and now what that means for what you're doing these days.
Yeah, it's been fun. So these guys reached out to me, Sean, Gabe over there, they're always good to me, and said, hey, do you need any new hats? And it just so happened, they asked almost like a week or two after we had made the licensing deal, so it was perfect. And then after the licensing deal, I now am the head of sports cards and memorabilia at BCW, so got to keep the hat alive, kind of retiring the Slabstrong in terms of the hat, but yeah, BCW now, so it's been amazing.
Yeah, well, keep the big hats up. It keeps you very memorable. Yeah. It's great personal branding. Tim, by the way, for those of you who haven't seen him at a show, Tim has made a career out of personal branding. Like that's, there's when you go to, if you're trying to grow yourself in terms of your notoriety within any space, within any business space, whatever that might look like, any community, if you can find a way to stand out, to be a little bit different, people are going to remember who you are, right?
Yeah.
And for you, it's been different things along the way, but the hat has actually been a signature thing for the last couple of years.
Yeah, so it's like, I saw your interview with Dr. Collectibles, right? And he was talking about how he's able to create content. I'm not really a content creator at all, right? So I had to rely on making the content creators, like such as yourself, want to put me on the screen or have a story behind Slabstrong. And it's been perfect because, yeah, it's just something that's noticeable. I have a lot of fun doing it. Kids love it. The parents get it, hopefully. A few of the trolls don't, but it's fine. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. And it's definitely helped because it's made me noticeable. At minimum, I'm the big hat guy. And at best, I'm the guy that created Slabstrong and on a Topps card.
Yeah.
So
personal branding's a big deal. Like I'm not going to get into political views on this show at all.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, I have a lot of things about him that I'm not a big fan of, but I will give him credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
And one thing that he has said consistently throughout his business career, before presidency, before politics, as a business person, he was always huge on personal brand. Yeah. And now, of course, he approached it in a different way. He approached it by putting his name across the side of airplanes and writing books and trying to, a lot of kind of chest pumping, but it was absolutely effective. unbelievably effective for
yeah.
him. He branded himself, named his hotels after himself, named his office buildings after himself, named his golf courses after himself, everything getting named after himself, building personal brand, being in the media all the time. And that absolutely opened the door for him to get into politics and to do other things down the road. So personal branding is a powerful strategy, and you got to find your own niche and a way to get your personal brand out there that connects with your personality and who you are. And this is connected with your personality. It's fun, right? You're fun, you're goofy, and you have a great time at shows, and you don't take yourself too seriously.
No.
And your brand reflects that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, there's large amounts of money in this hobby, right? But I still feel like we're in a kid's game. I've had so much fun, and I knew that from the beginning as well. Like originally, I knew that, and this is before the big hat, I just wanted, when someone saw me at a show, I essentially wore the same thing at every show. I started off black pants, black hoodie all the time with the white projecting so you could see it from far, the Slab Strong logo. And I wore it. It didn't matter if it was 120-degree weathers in Texas. I was sitting there sweating, but I just was always constant with that. And then we started doing the chains, right? And then we got into the hat at the Mint Collective, and that whole thing was amazing. I started getting recognized by, like when the Brian Williams from the Commanders wore it on ESPN. I had people that I didn't know on the ESPN chat saying Slab Strong did it first, like some card guy that no one knows what they're talking about. So, yeah, I wanted to be recognized and make it easy for myself because, like I said, I can't really turn a camera on myself and come up with, and I don't think be as genuine as if I'm able to someone talk to me and it just can come out. But, yeah, that's the most important thing for me was to recognize, okay, that's Tim Slab Strong. The product is Slab Strong. The hat allowed people to say, oh, that's the guy with the big hat. What's on your hat? What logo is that? And explain myself. So I'm still going to continue. I might grow in different ways and do different things, maybe a little smaller hat soon, but yeah, that's the goal. Cool. I just want to be, and I've got opportunities because of it.
Yeah.
Not just
100%. I mean, you were on a Topps card.
Yeah.
You know, you're on Topps baseball card as part of that influencer set earlier this year with Big League Baseball, and the fact that you branded yourself so well and you stood out to the executives at Topps and Fanatics when they went to card shows, and I'm sure that helped play into the whole thing.
Yeah, I was actually getting married. The same day I got married is about the same day they decided to put me on a card. I found out 5 days later that they were putting me on the card, and I was told to keep quiet, which I didn't, as you know. I tell everyone. But yeah, that's another crazy thing too. Like, I never would have thought that, first of all, I would even know anyone at Topps, at these big companies, because you think Fanatics from the outside, it's such a large company. Everyone is normal. Such good people there, the people I know, the people I met there. And yeah, it's just amazing that they would recognize that I was doing something fun in the hobby and just, like you said, not taking it too serious and just having a good time. So being on the Topps card was probably, I'll say, the second highlight, right? Because I just got married. So
yeah.
In case you're watching, Nikki.
For sure. All right, well, we're going to talk about your journey. Right now, obviously, everything is now branded BCW. BCW, for people who don't know, is one of the top suppliers of all kinds of trading card products. You know, from a lot of people know BCW from penny sleeves and top loaders and binder pages. You know, nine page binders, and they make the binders themselves, and they make all the cardboard boxes, and they make all the different types of storage boxes and storage products and display products for sports cards. And by the way, I should mention right now, we also have a very special promotion with BCW Supplies, in part because Tim is there now as their head of sports cards, where if you go to bcwsupplies.com, you can buy anything on their website, including the Slab Strong products, including top loaders, including binders, all that stuff, and get 10% off by using coupon code SCI when you check out. So again, coupon code SCI, 10% off everything at bcwsupplies.com. Okay, so let's go back to Slab Strong.
Yep.
Your creation of Slab Strong, and you told the story a few times before. We'll tell it quickly here in case some people, in the audience hadn't heard it, because it's really an interesting story. You were at a difficult time in your life, and then had this idea for an invention, and you became an inventor. You actually invented something that got patented, that then got licensed.
So wild.
It's a really cool story. So take us back to the beginning.
Yeah, like most people that have a pandemic story from 2020, March 15th, I lost my job permanently, and at a great job too. I loved it. And so it put me in a position to where, at the first it's like, okay, cool. It's almost like some time off, right? Because no one knew what was going on in the pandemic. So we're kind of having, it's like almost like a little vacation, right? As long as no one gets sick and, So decided to ask my girlfriend at the time to marry me. She literally breaks her ankle 2 hours after asking her to marry me, which set us on like another path of what do we do now? Like she can't work. She was able to go back to work where I wasn't. And we were sitting there one day. I took her Cricut machine, made a sticker out of a screw down, and kind of had to explain to her, like, hey, I have this idea for, like, making slabs colorful because I think they'll look cooler. And at that point, it wasn't even about protection. Luckily, I have a great wife, and she was like, go for it. Whatever you think, right? Like, I don't really get it necessarily, but go for it. Her parents were great. My parents were great. They were like, yeah, do what you have to do. And from that point on, went to my first show in Dallas with 13 pieces. Threw one at you, actually. Threw one at your feet. I was actually looking at the pictures the other day of the first time. You looking at me crazy for throwing slabs at you. But, and then from there, you invested in me, which still to this day, thank you. And then we just started making moves. We started getting colors in, going to more at shows, being more of a personality, and just talking to everyone. And, so from that point on, it was a real series of events of, and you actually asked the question to me. You said, Tim, do you want business? I think this is what made you invest in me, partly because you said to me, do you want to work for somebody or do you want to be an entrepreneur? And I said, I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't know what that means necessarily yet. This is the first time I'm a restaurant manager, but you believed in me, you invested in me, and I became an entrepreneur that day. And then through months of, if you don't know out there, it's not difficult to get a patent, but you just have to stick with it and just know how to answer questions. And I think a year later, the patent went through, which led us on the path now and that's how I got to BCW, because they decided that we had the best product out. They wanted to license it, and now they have exclusive rights to manufacture and distribute Slabstrong.
Yeah, that is an incredible story that it's gotten to that point, which is absolutely amazing. Yeah. When we first met, you had an early version of your product. You had some manufactured. You didn't have a ton because you didn't have the capital to scale. Right. But you had found a manufacturer. Yep. You had gotten them to build the first prototype of your product. Right. Which is, it for people, I think a lot of people have seen it now, but it's a rubber bumper sleeve that goes around slabs, which can add color because you got them in a bunch of colors, but also can protect if you drop the slab on the ground, which is helpful, especially at card shows where all the grounds are.
It's more prevalent than I even thought when I honestly came up with it.
I mean, that's what actually, that was what attracted me to the product more than the color side. Some people are more attracted by the color stuff. Right. Like my son likes Slab Strongs because of the colors, because he wants to put a red one on a certain card or a yellow one on a certain card or whatever. But for me, it was, I got a lot of really valuable cards in my case. I am somewhat clumsy, and I could I'm prone to dropping things, and I don't want to drop a $40,000 slab on a concrete floor at a card show and watch it shatter, which it can do. And then this product obviously helps protect against that.
Yeah. And like I said, that was even second to me. The name itself, though, I just liked it. I had like 5 different names, but for me, it was literally about the color until I started learning more. That's the other thing too. I had to at least educate myself more on business in general, but injection molding, manufacturing, how I'm going to have to pay taxes because one is being manufactured in Utah and it sells from Rhode Island. So it was a lot of things, but that was my initial thought. I just did it with the stickers. I just simply wanted to make, in my opinion, the cards look cooler. And then through the process of just testing, honestly, including testing how to sell it, right? Because one of the other things that I became known for in the beginning, which I don't do it much now, is because other people started throwing their cards to show me their stuff was working. And I didn't necessarily like that. Like, I know it works, but it's like, don't throw your cards, I would throw mine. So that was like another marketing thing that we had going. And that's how I started off, even with you, is just throwing it at your feet and you going, oh, it didn't break. So that was always the plan too. Once I realized, once it's injection molding and it wraps around like a phone case, that's the key. Yeah, that's the marketing. Yeah.
So I put some money into this. We reached a deal on that. We got him at that point. We got a whole big bulk of them manufactured. Yep. Come to find out, it's difficult, and I've seen this now in other businesses I've been involved with as well. It's difficult to get really good pricing on manufacturing
Oh.
when you're small and starting out. Even I mean, our initial order, once I put capital in, we did $100,000 order.
Oh, and I thought we were getting that at a great price.
Yeah, I thought it was
Like,
a good right. But
But-
as we've come to learn through, now, understanding larger companies like BCW Supplies and everything like that, there's so much better pricing that can be had on manufacturing, but it takes the relationships, it takes the scale, it takes, all that type of stuff, and that's difficult because when you're starting out new and you got a new product and you don't have manufacturer relationships and you don't have scale, then it's difficult to get your product manufactured for a price that ultimately is, super competitive on the market.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly in this hobby, it's all the way around. I think relationships / networking is something you need to do. If you're someone that resells cards, buys and sells cards, relationships helps because sometimes you'll have a vendor that will call you first maybe on a card. We were sitting here a minute ago and guys are saying, "Hey Geoff, like remember we talked the last show." So relationships in general, and that's what you learn through big business. BCW is 40 years strong. They have a great owner, great team there. I'm glad to be a part of it now. They're teaching me a huge amount of things about distribution and just how to run a large company like that. So, it's been amazing through the whole process, and I'm just going to keep striving. It sounds like that was all easy, but there was a bunch of mistakes made, right, on my part coming through. But we stayed strong the whole time, kept our convictions, and it wasn't always easy. Right, it wasn't always easy, but it's been a wonderful thing. The product is selling, and now BCW makes it global.
Well, that
That's
was
the
the
thing.
big
Like, I
deal.
never thought
When we had the opportunity to connect with BCW, there were a couple of things that both of us, kind of engaged them in conversation, and there were a couple of things that stood out to me as to what made the opportunity attractive for us. Instead of continuing to manufacture the product on our own, for us to license the product to BCW and let them be the exclusive manufacturer and distributor of it, a couple things that stood out to me. One was their distribution network, right? One challenge that entrepreneurs who create individual products like we had done with Slabstrong have is that when you're then trying to sell to retailers, when you're trying to sell to hobby shops, the hobby shops, they have a difficult business. They have all kinds of different vendors who they deal with and have to do reordering of all these products and supplies. They like simplicity. They want to consolidate the number of people they have to order from. You're a one-off product. You're like, I'm going to sell you this one thing and only this one thing. And that hobby shop is going to say, man, I like the product. I could probably make some money selling the product, but I got to order now from somebody else. Whereas if they already have the relationship with BCW because they order tons of supplies of all kinds of different types from BCW.
Right.
So if BCW were to carry the product, it's just gets added to the order for the hobby shop. It's easy for them to manage because they already have the relationship versus doing it one off. So that was one thing that was really attractive was like if we team with BCW, it's going to be a lot better distribution. It's going to be a lot easier for people to bring this product into their stores because they already have the relationship with BCW. And then the second thing was just the fact that BCW, because of their manufacturing relationships, they were able to get it manufactured for so much less on a per unit basis than we were paying, which then allowed them to sell it for so much less.
Right.
And when they said to us they were going to sell the 6-packs for, I think it was $19.99, right? For a 6-pack. That's what they're currently for sale at on bcwsupplies.com. We were like, wow, that's a lot better price. We were selling 3-packs for what, $24.99? $24.99 for a 3-pack. They're going to sell 6-packs for $19.99. How were they able to do it? They were able to do it because their manufacturing cost was a fraction of what our manufacturing cost was. And so we saw that and we're like, okay, like those, the being able to bring the price points down, make the product more affordable for the consumer, have better distribution. We just realized like that's just a better channel than what we're going to be able to achieve on our own.
Oh, and it's far beyond my dreams. There's a few podcasts. If you go back a year or two now, we've been at this 3 years now, or like end of 2020. I've always wanted to be as far-reaching as possible, right? And my dream was if we can get these things to be $5 a piece, I'd be extremely happy. And now, depending on how many you buy, you're getting them really from like $3 to $3.50, and which is just it just makes me proud because I know like their distribution channels as well, but I just know having the price drop is just going to help, and more people will have it. So I was very excited for that. At first, though, it's a jolt, right? It's a jolt because this is my baby. This is our business. You invested in me. You believed in me. And a company comes in, but at the same time, they saw the value in us separately as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I work for them now. You do some business with them as well. You have the big card shop. I'm sure there's going to be BCW supplies all
100%.
over in Cards HQ. And so, it's been amazing. I honestly wouldn't change anything that happened, the mistakes made, all this other stuff, because it's educated me, and I'm just so much more confident in my product, what we're going to be able to do. But yeah, unbelievable. It was a shock when we saw how much they could sell them for, and right away I was like, well, if they're selling them for that, they got to be. So
Yeah.
but it ended up working out great.
Yeah, no, it was exciting, and it is, we worked, so we went through the process, obviously, of doing the exclusive license deal with them.
Yep.
And that took a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of conversations, a lot of back and forth, a lot of numbers thrown around, a lot of legal agreement back and forth.
A lot of
all
me
these
looking up
things.
words that you guys were saying in the dictionary.
But what's interesting is, as you said, it was kind of a multifaceted thing. We licensed the product to them, but they also hired you on
Right.
as a full-time, member of their team, a very important member of their team. They also did a marketing deal with Sports Card Investor, where Sports Card Investor now has BCW Supplies as our official supply partner.
Yep.
And we do regular ongoing promotion for BCW Supplies. It's interesting when you do a licensing deal like that, there's ways to make it work that can go beyond just the core licensing. And so we looked at the deal in totality and we said, okay, it's not just about what we're getting on the licensing deal, which was good, and we were happy where that ended up, but it's also the fact that Sports Card Investor is getting, a marketing opportunity here. It's also the fact that you're getting a really cool opportunity to go work for these people and to lead them and help them grow.
Yeah.
And so when we looked at all of that in totality, it was like, this makes a lot of sense. Like, this is the right direction for the future of Slabstrong.
Yeah, and it was, we were grinding, ready to go, going to many shows as possible. The shock originally turned into probably my biggest stress relief possible. Just having the security while also still selling my product. I'm still selling Slabstrong, right? That hasn't changed. It just goes through a different mechanism. But yeah, because we had talked previously when we said how are we going to negotiate. One of the things was like, hey, I think that I will be able to work there. This is before we even had the deal. It's like, I think I can get myself there, still selling Slabstrong, and then just expand everything. And once again, you have been a great partner. You recognize that as well. You were like, Tim, that is, you're right. Like, this is probably the way to go. And, being a lawyer is a whole different thing, but I think that it worked out great. It really couldn't have worked out any better because we still get to do what we love, right? You love doing what you do, making the content, and now through this previous grinding of this one thing, we were able to get deals separately. And no, it's just really, truly been a blessing.
Yeah,
the whole process.
It has been very, very cool indeed. For the Slabstrong product, so right now Slabstrong is on BCW Supplies website. That is now where you go to buy Slabstrong. Again, you can save 10% off Slabstrong, promo code SCI on BCW Supplies website. They have them right now for PSA slabs, black and clear, which were two of our, clear especially was our top seller always. And they have them, that really nice version of our clear, PSA holder. I don't know if you can tell us where, how that might expand in the future, but what are you guys working on, or is that to be determined, but where, in terms of colors and that type of thing?
Yeah. So one thing that I must point out is, including their relationship with business, they were, in my opinion, they were able to improve the Slabstrong, right? It's easy to put on now, right?
I think it's a little bit of a better quality.
A little bit of a better quality.
It's nice.
The
clear is very, very clear.
Yeah.
It's a nice upgrade.
Yeah, in my opinion, it is an upgrade. So for everyone out there, give them a try. They're wonderful. So yeah, black and clear. We also have, so there's going to be
they call them slab protectors. I think that's how you would find them.
Slab bumpers.
Slab bumpers. That's how you find them on their website.
Right. And PSA will have 8 total colors. here's
Awesome.
the great part, because we've always talked about this. In the beginning, it was like, black and clear was selling so well, we want to do BGS, Beckett. So we only had black and clear, and our next step would have been more colors, and our next step would have been SGC, and our next step would have been CGC. But now with them, we have 8 colors of PSA, 8 colors of BGS, and 8 colors of SGC that should be on the website. PSA's on there now, but by the end of the year, you'll be able to buy a multitude of colors through multiple brands.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, that's the vision you wanted to realize. When it was just us, we had trouble keeping all the colors in stock and ordering all the colors and expanding to that level, because every color was another minimum order, because we weren't doing the volume overall to have the manufacturer relationships. We couldn't order at the scale. So it was like we had to pick and choose colors. We couldn't do everything we wanted to do.
Right.
Now with BCW and their scale, you're able to see the vision come to life. 8 colors PSA, 8 colors BGS. That's being able to do SGC, which we weren't able to do previously.
Right.
Like that's super cool.
They're even doing a comic book one.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, that just goes back to like, and a lot of the stuff too. A lot of hard work, but even a lot of luck too. A lot of luck, a lot of good people involved. But yeah, I can't say enough about BCW. And the thing is too, like when you get into a situation where I'm going from entrepreneur to, I have a good title, right? But I'm working for someone, BCW. They have been completely open to more ideas. That's part of my job too, but they're completely open to more ideas. We actually also have sleeves, 100 count bags coming that fit all different sizes of the Slab Strongs.
Oh, neat.
As Slab Bumper Slab Strongs. So, including when they're on a BGS and when they're on a SGC, right? So they're going above and beyond what even I thought this could possibly be, or what we could accomplish at the time. We would have got there, but I can't say enough about this relationship.
That's exciting. Well, I'm excited for the future of Slab Strong. Obviously, still as an investor, we're getting paid out a license fee for all of these ones that sell, a royalty for all these ones that sell. So I'm excited from that standpoint, but I'm just also excited to see what BCW can do with a product that we were not able to do with the product, right? There's like a pride, and I know you feel that even more strongly than me, since you invented it and patented it to begin with, but like there's a pride there in ownership to see the full, vision for the product kind of go all the way to where you wanted it to see it originally.
Yeah, but once again though, you are literally the biggest, one of the biggest parts of my journey. I mean, I don't know where I would have been without an investment, right? I had a few ones that I almost gave up on in the beginning, right? A few investments coming in that I would have had to give up. But you believed in me. We stuck it out. You've always been very good to me. And now, it's going to be an amazing expansion. More colors will come out. We're going to be doing other products. It also gives the ability to me now, too, because not everyone needed Slab Strong, right? But now, the new card bins coming out are great, right? So it's not just all about me. Now I'm BCW, head to toe.
Yeah.
And, it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah, that's so much fun. So talk about what you are doing with BCW. So now you're Team BCW, you're full-time BCW, obviously representing the brand. So what is your day-to-day like? Are you going to a bunch of shows still? What are you doing?
Yeah, I just went to a ton of shows, actually. I saw you in Miami. So right after Miami, went to Burbank, and then to Dallas. So I'm just doing what I normally do, but this time I can do it on a larger scale. So we actually just sponsored the London Card Show. I can't make it to this one on November 4th, but I'll be in London in February.
Yep.
I helped open up a distribution center there. Next up, we're in talks with someone in Australia. I'll be at Toronto in a month, right?
Cool.
So I'm going to go up there,
Sport
and all the
Card
guys
Expo.
that we know from Minting, you know the guys up there. You know them well, too, from Dolly's. So I'm just going to continue to expand the brand that I work for BCW, and quite honestly, expand my brand as well.
Yeah.
I'm just using what I've already used this whole time with connections, and just saying, hey, if you need top loaders, go to BCW. So that's my main thing, is just converting relationships I have now over to just buying supplies there, and then trying to expand my network. Like I said, we're in England. We're in England in a month. I'll be there in February. We're going to do Australia next year. Talking to my guys, I believe you know them as well, BJ at Hobby Korea. So I might go to South Korea. So I'm going to expand. I want to be global. Like, I want to be global too, right? So I'm going to use everyone I know and personality in the big hat to get where we need to get.
That's great. Well, it's exciting. I'm sure it's very exciting for BCW to have that type of representation, you know, repping the brand out at all of these shows and all of these different places, both in the U.S. and globally now.
Yeah.
And, you know, getting new accounts, getting new dealers of, you know, throughout the show to order from BCW. I mean, it's got to be an exciting time for them for sure.
Yeah, I just still get to do what I love too. Because what's better than traveling, talking cards, and meeting everybody? So I'm excited. And so Eric, who is the owner of BCW, was amazing for me because one of the things we talked about, there really wasn't an interview. We just had a conversation about me going to work there. Was he didn't want me to change. He didn't want me to change being me. The only thing he did say is, "Can I please use ChatGPT on emails?" He did. He was like, "Hey Tim, we don't want you to." He literally said, "Tim, I don't want you to be corporate." He's like, I just want you to be you. Wear the big hat, do all that. I don't want you to be corporate. Wear your hoodie. I don't want you to be corporate. But if you could just maybe corporatize." So we actually
clean up the emails a little bit.
Yeah, I sat with him actually for a half an hour on ChatGPT. He was like, "Yeah, so now if you get an email from me, I did not."
A robot wrote it.
Yeah, a robot wrote it. If
That's
everything's
funny.
spelled right,
That's
a robot wrote it.
good, proper punctuation, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it's been amazing, and all the guys working there too, from Ted, my guy Ken, Rick, like all the guys that everyone's been great to me. I visited them a couple times now, and it's just a good company. They know what they're doing. They're always striving to do their best in terms of bringing new products. There's a new laser weld page they came out
Really
with.
good quality supplies.
That's what. Yes.
Their laser weld, those 9-pocket binder pages, by far the best quality binder pages out there.
Yeah.
Their penny sleeves are the best. They've got a little thickness to them that the other brands don't have. They've just the best quality supplies.
Yeah, they're doing very well, and I'm just trying to ride that train as well, but I'm also trying to push them in a direction because there wasn't a position like mine there until they hired me. So yeah, I'm just gonna try to keep representing them well. I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I told this to, I actually said that, you know how I talk. So I said it to Eric, well, in this so-called interview that I had when I sat with him and talked with him, was I am dedicated also to having the most fun in this hobby that someone could have, right? Just trying to be a good person, do the right thing, push the brand, and just be seen and heard and try to do the right thing in this hobby. So he appreciated that. He said, yeah, I mean, he's like, we don't want you to change, which is when you go, I'll tell you one funny story actually. So when I met with him, I walked into his office and he turned the computer off and turned on his little chair and said, "Oh, so I just watched the podcast with you in it, and it says you're an entrepreneur, you'll never work for someone again." That's what he said to me first thing. And I said, luckily I'm pretty quick because I said to him, that is true. However, you're going to get someone that has the entrepreneur mentality now, because I still want Slabstrong to be successful. So now you're getting me at my peak hat condition here.
Yeah.
So he actually, so Eric's been great, man. Very easy to talk to like you, but we've always had me and him have open conversation, but he's like, yeah, just stay yourself and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you're doing a great job doing it. I know you're going to be doing it here at this Nashville Card Show all weekend long, and at card shows all over the country. So if you guys out there, you're going to see this guy. You're going to recognize this guy at any major card show you go to. So make sure to say hi to Tim, and make sure to check out BCW Supplies. Again, promo code SEI for 10% off. It's been a lot of fun, Tim.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. It's been cool catching up with you. Absolutely. And guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, give it a like, give it a subscribe. And you can also catch these episodes of The Geoff Wilson Show full length on YouTube, as well as the podcast version on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So make sure to subscribe there as well. We appreciate you. We'll see you for the next episode. Take care.